It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells, since we have a name now. Had quite an eventful evening at the Quorum's event here at the top of the Core Spire. And as you all rushed back to the abode of Lord Eshtaros, it became quickly apparent that Dorian's brother Cyrus had fucked up so deeply that both him and his brother have to skip town. With Eshtaros' help, they were both given passage onto his personal skyship and decided to send it over to Teldore, Dorian's request, where he feels he has some familiar friends to lay low with and hopefully figure out a way to fix these troubles from afar. And as you watched him leave in the wee hours of the morning, you all went back to rest and decide what the next path lay for you. You all begin to come from your rest, wake up, and gather down for a breakfast meal that is being prepared by Evelyn, the assistant to Lord Eshtaros.
What a night.
Yeah, it was a lot.
How are y'all doing, by the way? You and Orem, I mean, I know you've been kind of attached to the hip with Dorian this whole time, so...
I'm just fine. I couldn't sleep very well, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I felt a little empty. I don't know, I guess we'll see. We've been together for months, so it does feel... I don't know, feels like he's still here in a way.
Actually, it would be both Fern and Orem would be the only two to clock the relatively quiet arrival of Lord Eshtaros.
Good morning, friends.
Morning to you.
Your approach was very quiet.
Some habits die hard. And I, myself, would wish to be difficult to kill, so...
Sorry for the uproar last night.
Yeah. I feel like we made quite the impression.
Pull it out of the fire. I know we didn't accomplish all of the things that we were supposed to.
We got a good idea, though.
Pretty good.
And we got his ring on his finger.
The placement of this ring is one great success, and I can begin keeping watch on his movements throughout the city, should they begin to wander to a place of discomfort or unexpected.
He was at the party with Lady Emoth Kade, who turned into the jelly beast, so...
Right.
Do you know someone named Mistress Alana Shishadre?
I do. And Shishadri comes from a mid-level Mahan house. I would not expect someone of their station to be involved in the Quorum, but that may be a good cover as well for anonymity. That's possible 2 members of the Quorum you've identified. That is useful. And you think that they are in league with Arman?
It did seem that like they were chummy.
Well, if we are confirming Arman's position on the Quorum, best to our ability, the events of last night are likely to only bolster his argument for the cause and statement for security here in the wilds. Even so, I am uncertain as to why he is so heavily invested in a private mercenary corporations. This, unless he has some deep monetary investment in them and wishes to see a return on this investment.
I looked into his thoughts. While he was dancing with Fern, he did have a strong connection with the Nightmare King. He said he was getting sick of all these fey creatures. He was very untrustworthy of them.
Interesting. So perhaps Trinci has gotten a bit deep with deals for a particular interest, and was having a hard time untangling it.
Could be.
If we find this Emoth, maybe we could get more answers.
Where do you think this Emoth might be?
Said something about Mother healing her, or...
And she also mentioned working with Duggar as well, right?
And both came from the tunnels that go to points below.
I bet there's something big underneath all of the spires.
You battled with Lady Emoth, and she escaped with the knowledge of what you look like.
Yes.
Huh.
What house is she from? What family is she with?
Not terribly up to speed with the Kade home. They are a very Meyermachen house that has been relatively fresh in the scene here. I believe they migrated away after the Apex War. Once belonged under the Stratos throne. They come from the fields there, which rose a bunch of cattle and sil goats and things as such. But the business here has diverged from that. Those business interests were left behind. I was under the impression that they were looking for an inn to begin to make a mark here. They themselves have been relatively on the outside, if you will.
Well, and then she was there working with Cyrus to rob from all of the families.
Well, Cyrus might not have known the full story.
I got talked to mostly rather than talking at people.
Yeah, how was your night?
Well, General Ratanish made it very clear that he knows it was us that fucked up everything at the Nightmare King's lab.
Us or you?
Us.
Oh.
I don't think he's going to do anything about it. I don't think he's that interested, but he's certainly working for people who are.
So
This
we have to keep
arrangement.
an even lower profile than we were before.
If we can keep an eye on Trinci's movements, if we can bring some sort of proof, catch him red-handed in some way, and bring this to... I have a few individuals here that may have adjacent connections to the Quorum. If we're able to oust Trinci as a bad faith member, especially with, any sort of evidence.
What if he's not a bad faith member?
You mean like what if the rest of the quorum is going along with his plans as well?
Well, then the wilds are fucked and we should abandon ship.
Oh.
I tend to think that there is still... This society is worth fighting for.
That's so
And
sweet. It's very sweet.
I got one for you. There, Ajit Dial. Are you familiar with that name?
I do know Ajit, yes. He is of the Dial Mahan house. He is a philanthropic sort. Oversees the Dial Hall here in the Core Spire, which is a place of learning. I've not had personal interactions with him, but I know of his work.
Has there been any progress on that little, slimy vial sample that we gave you? You were gonna have people look into it.
Indeed.
He wipes the corner of his mouth.
It was indeed confirmed to be sort of an excretion that is utilized by shade creepers and other subterranean abominations as an intent to both facilitate unnatural movement through hard tunnels.
Come on!
I hate you all so much.
Perfect!
He just gave up at the end.
So that tunnel, or when you went down the tunnel at Duggar's place, when you were following after him,
It was 2 times.
it was really deep, right?
It was something like 1,000 plus
Which is
feet.
far deeper than the core spire is tall.
Hey,
Correct?
From where you were at the time, likely.
spires like this don't just spring up after an earthquake or something. They grow probably over millions of years from some sort of source underground. I don't know. How do these form?
Like, what's the leading theory?
Oh, like earthquakes and things, or, people just build them over time.
I don't believe in man-made spire change.
No, yeah. What do you believe?
Oh no, CJ's the worst.
I just think we need to do
Okay, there's a flat Exandria.
Yeah.
No.
Until I see it for myself.
I mean, that's a little too far even for me.
We also need to figure out a way to get to the Heartmore Hamlet pretty soon.
Same.
Oh,
I mean,
there's a-
I don't have to do it soon.
There's a time thing?
Well, the trail could go cold.
We can make some money along the way, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and maybe escort.
We could kill birds for money?
Do you enjoy killing birds?
I don't care for birds.
You don't care for birds?
Did you get attacked by birds once or something?
I did.
You did? Did they carry you off?
No, they're just annoying.
Roughly 2 to 2.5 minutes after leaving Esteros' estate, as you begin to head along the streets, a figure saddles up along the right of you. You begin to notice that they're traveling almost in, not lockstep, but definitely keeping a continuous flank. And you glance over and you see a tall, brow-furrowed half-orc man. A little lanky, compared to some of the more brawny half-orcs that you've encountered in your more sellsword lifestyles for some of you, with a long, deep green coat.
Oh, this guy.
You glance to the left, and to the other side of you, it looks to be a shorter female gnome, and they're just kind of flanking your troop, walking alongside, quietly. Eventually, in the initial silence, it breaks as the female gnome goes, "Hey, it's rather a nice day y'all having, right? Nice weather."
Sure is. It's a shiny, smiley day today. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. It's a good day, huh? Gus? What goes? Yeah, it's a nice day to go for a walk, around the city. Where you walking?
Just strolling about.
Yep. Just going shopping.
Stretching our legs.
Oh. Hear that, Olly? They're just kind of out and about, running some errands.
How about yourselves? Where are you headed?
They look at each other, look back at you, and Olly goes, we're heading off to this little sitting space here. Why don't you go sit with us? Let's have a conversation. Have a little talk.
Just the 2 of you?
Yeah. And as they kind of almost corral you off the side of the main walkway to this little roadside, almost like a garden sitting area. There are a couple of benches.
All of us sit down.
Yeah, it's a very tight bench space. And he goes ahead and kind of glances over his shoulder, and you watch he kind of runs his finger through the air and marks a sigil. As it does, it leaves this slight trace. And as it flashes, there is a faint shimmer that surrounds you like a dome.
Oh, for
And as it does, all you can hear is what's within this space. So, I apologize for the abrupt and perhaps unexpected arrival of me and my compatriot. We are interested in your business around the city. My name is Olly. This is Gus, if you hadn't picked up that. Gus goes, "Hey."
Hello.
We're, keeping an eye on some happenings going on around here. There's some weird things happening here in Drussar. Right? Some weird things happened last night.
Yes.
Recognize some of the faces around here. You were there. You saw some of these weird things. Some of you were, very close to some of these weird things. In fact, all of you were 2 separate groups of people at an event that all seemed to be one group, friends mingling throughout the events of the evening, as well as keeping proximity to Mr. Lord Eric's Esteros.
We became friends very quickly.
Gus kind of butts in.
What she's trying to get at is, we've been contacted and are hired specifically to figure out what, and pardon me, Marquesian, what the fuck is going on around here?
Ooh, I speak Marquesian. Which fucking problem specifically? Because there's a lot of weird shit going on, so you actually would have to be a little fucking specific. I think I said that right.
There's been a lot of strange occurrences happening in recent months around here in the Odiran Wilds, specifically Drusard. There have been all manner of seemingly disconnected, dangerous events. There have been seeming almost terrorist-like attacks in public spaces. There have been creatures that have been found that should not exist anywhere near the biomes that normally reside within the wild, suddenly showing up in the middle of the city. There have been people going missing. There have been murders. And recently...
There was a creature that came out of a wall.
Yeah,
in
it was
a brick.
like the wall was trying to eat us out. Have you seen that?
It
That
was
would be
attacking
crazy.
us, and we had to defend ourselves, so we killed it.
I saw it. It was a good fight.
But it's a strange scenario that in just wandering into each other around here and happened to be good bystanders that happened to kill some monsters that were responsible for all sorts of chaos, that individuals that look kind of like you've been reported by some of the wilders that were present at the destruction of the Moon Tower.
That is a coincidence for sure, but it's not the craziest coincidence that we've experienced yet.
I mean, we ran into
Also-
each other over live-in furniture.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, a lot of things here aren't adding up.
Like what?
Is there an accusation coming? Or just conjecture?
Your presence with no previous correlation with any of the nobility here of Drusar at such a high-stake event alongside Lord Esteros. It just seems like a lot of odd coincidence. So I'm just curious if you've ever been to the Mirror Towers, if you were at the Moon Tower, if you were responsible for its collapse or know who is. It would behoove you to come forward with this information, for it has to be extracted.
We are not responsible for the collapse.
Then who is?
You wouldn't believe us. You told
You wouldn't believe this, guys. Wouldn't believe him.
Have you been doing research and investigating on jelly people?
What's a jelly person?
It's a person that comes out of little caves and then they excrete slime and then they turn into ooze and then they can squish back into teeny little tunnels too.
They both shoot each other a look immediately. Kind of give like a nod. So
And
you're talking the shade creeper shit.
yeah, that.
What do you know about the shade creeper incursion?
That they're everywhere? That there's holes all over this city?
They kept
running
trying
into
to.
him.
They've robbed our kind, sweet landlord.
That's how we found to begin with.
I think you need to be investigating inside the spires.
Yeah, they're gonna escape into these holes, and then like the holes are very small, but from what we can tell, they go down thousands of feet.
Thousands of feet.
But we can't do that.
The whole reason we were at the party last night was trying to find some leads on these slimy fucks.
Let's come clean. I get the sense that you're not telling the complete truth about the Moon Tower. Who's responsible for leveling it?
Not us.
I have a name, but it sounds like a given name. I can give it to you, but it's a more of a creature, really.
I think before you say it, you found the secret room? Did you find anything?
They both kind of look at each other again with a smile. See? Now we can talk. Now we're actually getting some trust here. We're building parts of the narrative. Yes, we have strong belief there's been foul play involved with the destruction of the Moon Tower. We have been able to uncover bits of a subterranean layer beneath the offices there at the base floor, as well as dubious mechanisms that were destroyed and buried within. We intended to peer further into this, but were rebuked by the wardens, and my instinct is that there calls a cover-up involved somewhere.
Who hired you? Who are you working for?
It will tell you if we can build a little more trust. But also understand, we don't do this for the money. We do it because it's the right thing to do.
No, I always prefer working with people who are in it for the money. Then you know what they want. The right thing to do can mean fucking anything.
If I might be so bold.
Please.
What are you after? What are you doing? What's your goal? Not asking specifically for why you're working for Mr. Esteros, which indeed is an assumption.
Yes, it's an assumption, I admit. But, you know, a lot of signs point that direction. It helps to know why.
All this business with the shade creepers all over town. There's something really weird and wrong happening in this city. You're not the only ones trying to do the right thing.
Also, we have a bit of a vested interest. One of our friends was killed, and we'd like to get to the bottom of who did it and how and why, and hopefully bring him vengeance.
By one of the creepy shade creeper fucks.
Yeah.
So we're here to raise hell. In the name of Bell.
That's how it started, yeah.
Bill's hell. Bill's hell.
You want these shade creeper fucks figured out, taken down. We may be able to align ourselves in that space. If we can give help to each other, prove trustworthy, prove that maybe a lot of these things that have been discussed today themselves keep us in alignment.
You really are making the right
Where would you
choice.
like us to go? What would you want us to do? What should we do?
The most viable leads that we've had in a lot of these threads we've been following are you.
Oh.
Shit.
So, we need to find, if indeed you are telling the truth, something bigger. Something that takes you out of this equation, and something that we can present to show that there's something bigger. Right now, it looks like our common thread are these shade creepers and whatever the hell's going on there.
Lady Emoth Kade last night
Oh.
at the party.
Olly kind of leans back. Yeah, I was I know. Something about her just wasn't sitting right with me.
Well, she turned into a jelly.
Okay, so the jelly people are these people you're talking about that, okay, see?
Normal. That's the thing. They look normal and then they...
That's not a normal shade creeper thing. We've done a shit ton of research on their ecology. This is something different. This isn't a known. I mean, they're usually scavengers.
She like sprouted one. They can sprout shade creepers out of their bodies.
That's disgusting.
And she can crawl on the ceiling. And she got away last night.
I'm just trying to think of places to go. We were talking about either going to the base of the core spire, but there's not much in the way of entrances there. There's a lot of mines in the smolder spire, and I think our boy Gus here has sort of an inn there, and Gus is like, oh, no, don't make me do that. We can find other ways.
Oh, somebody into you guys.
No. Not for a long time. But the Underrush Mines is the southmost in one of the larger mining operations in the smolder spire.
Tell you what,
Could do a
you
quick
want some trust
look-see?
gained? Let's go to your mine.
Yeah.
What do you think, Olly?
In spite of my better judgment, I kind of like him. Don't have to go far. We just need something.
All right.
Something we can bring back. Something that could act as evidence. If this lady Emoth, you say, is somewhere, possibly down there, if we can bring her back, preferably alive, and if not, whatever we can take, we can show this alteration in physiology that can definitely go a long way as to finding the route, especially since she's been networking.
Oh, physiology. There isn't much of it left after we defeat them. They kind of combust,
Yeah, they turn into like
flame.
and then ooze.
That's a problem.
Then capture them alive, maybe.
Also to study makes it tough.
That would be the intent then.
Where are we going to put it when we capture it?
Oh, we're very well learned in the art of capturing and dragging dangerous things back to those who are
So you'll be in there with us?
That would be the intent, yeah.
Great. How long have y'all been together?
We've been working together for, what's it now, like, almost 20 years? Yeah, I'm give or take. I kind of stopped keeping count. We've been doing this for a long time.
Truth.
All right. Well, you coming?
Fuck it.
Lead the way.
Quietly, they guide you along the outer roads of the core spire to the familiar gondola that leads its way to the smolder spire. Pay the entry fee for the rest of you.
Ooh.
Comes to rest at the base of the spire. It opens up. They lead you to what you see is signed to read the Underrush Mining Operation Facility. Here, you can see the entrance. It's heavily gated, with two iron lattice heavy doors that bar two large entrances that are about 30 feet from each other. You can see there's a few private guards that roam near the entrances. Y'all gonna stop here for a second, and Olly leans up to Gus a little bit and goes, You, ready to pull some strings, buddy?
Ooh.
Guess there's no time like the present. Wait here a second.
One of the guards goes, pardon me, what does...
Welcome. What can we do for the Greenseekers? Me and my associates over here, we're on a bit of a business excursion, looking into an investigation. If I could please speak with Ogdis Freeze, if you don't mind.
All right, I'll go and retrieve them. Hold on just a second. Guard goes inside. A short time later, you see at the doorway, kind of leaning, a built half-elf man, tanned, bald, with a goatee. Kind of, he's, not dressed like any of the other miners. He's dressed a little nicer. He doesn't have a lot of, gross soot or anything that shows that he's working physically in the mines. Seems to have a little more of a station within, kind of since they're leaning against things. Well, have my eyes do deceive me. Gus, it's been some time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You good?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Can I ask you a favor?
You're asking me a favor. Okay. I think this is dead in kind then, right? Because if I need a favor, then
Look, can we just talk inside?
Yeah. Sure. Everyone, come inside. Friends of Gus are friends of mine. Sure. Step on in. You are all stepping into the Underrush mines behind the Greenseekers. Stepping out of the daylight into the darker interior, the immediate smell of that subterranean, kind of earthy, musky scent reaches your nose. Ogdiz, you can see walking with Gus in tow into an office off to the side. And as you all continue to follow, within the chamber, you can see what looks to be a modest office. What can I do for you, Gus? And Gus just kind of stands there.
Well, we have an investigation. I want to ask you some questions and see if you could give us operational access to some of the deeper set mines here.
Oh. Okay. What questions are you looking to ask, Gus?
Jesus. Is there anything odd, anything weird or unnatural going on amongst the general mining operations?
Well, Gus. Yeah, there've been some weird things going on. Yeah. I mean, the whole Crown Set cave system's been shut down for months. Do you want to know why, Gus? What do you need from us to help us? Well, I need an apology. You can see from sitting behind, Gus's fist just balls up and shakes a little bit before kind of relaxing. Anything else? Yeah, actually. I'd like some of my furniture back.
Oh, shit.
Gus goes, I don't got it. I don't live here. Then you can afford to pay me what you owe me for the furniture that you can't provide. This was a bad idea. We should go.
Did you both live together?
Gus stops. Yeah, did he not tell you?
Well, he had nothing but good things to say about you. Very helpful, you think it was?
Yeah.
Wait. Seriously?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We need help. People are in danger. Some bad shit's going down. Kind of leans in a bit. Look, the Crown Set mines have been closed. We don't know why. There's no threats of collapse, no movement of creatures or any threats that we know of. There were no reports situated, just a redistribution of the hands that were working the mines. And the foreman of the mines has kind of just kept to his own paperwork in his office. So, that's about the weirdest thing that's happened. But we don't ask questions. I don't even handle that side of the mines.
Gus and Ogdis, I don't know you at all, but it just feels like in these sorts of situations, it's nice if you it breaks the tension if you just say one good thing that happened in your prior relationship, just to sort of like one thing that you liked about the other person.
Did you bring a therapist? We haven't talked in 2 years and you come here asking for help and you bring a fucking therapist, Gus? Are you...
Gus, are you hearing what Ogdis is trying to say to you right now?
I can sense there's some leftover resentment and unresolved hostility. Yeah,
it's okay. This is a safe space.
I liked you, and it just really bothered me that it was so easy to drop everything and walk away. And Gus just kind of like.
Always best to start with, I feel, or I believe, or I would have preferred.
Too real. I feel guilty for disrespecting the level of expectation that you had placed upon our relationship. Ogdis kind of leans back. I feel that I would like to know how guilty that is. how much of that you felt and continuously. That's what I feel.
How long were you all together?
It was a very, very intense 10.5 months.
I mean, that's meaningful. I know it didn't last, but that's, you have those times to look back on fondly. And that's not nothing.
Do you still have feelings for each other?
What, this asshole? Fuck no. He's a lesson.
I'm sorry. I can't say I'm proud of it, but we're different people now than we were then, and I'm sorry.
That's really positive. Ogdis, do you have anything that you want to apologize for?
No, I was perfect. I was fucking great.
You know what? I actually think our time's up.
Oh.
Ogdis goes, I'm sorry. What can I do to help?
Oh,
Yes.
we actually were hoping to get access to the mines by any means that you could provide.
I was gonna lead you over to where Shoten's office is. The guy,
Is that foreman Shoten?
yeah, who is responsible for handling the Crown Set Cavern. But based on that little interaction there, I'll happily introduce you myself.
Hey, that's great.
Thank you.
In this next deeper portion of the mine, you can see there are all manner of tools, pickaxes and shovels, and everything that have just been like arranged and left on the sides, untouched. Here outside of the office, you can see there is a door to which Ogdus goes ahead and knocks on it. Shotan, it's Ogdus.
What do you want? What do you want with me?
Jesus.
I am bringing compatriots and investigators that need to talk to you on quorum business. Just open the door.
Oh, fine.
It opens up and you can see there is a older, kind of rotund, sweaty-looking dwarf fellow who is currently holding like a small, like a novelette in one hand. He's like wiping his brow, and as soon as the door opens, he looks out and sees the rest of you, sees the coats. Oh shit! And goes, there we go. He's all yours. Walks by, and then the dwarf figure kind of steps back. I'll comply with whatever you're asking about. There's no funny business here.
You're not in any trouble. No.
Or maybe you are.
Whoa, back it down a bit.
He goes, and like stumbles back. He trips over a stool, falls and hits the ground, and is knocked unconscious.
What did you do?
Yeah, at this point, you can see both Olly and like get in. Close the door behind.
Do we pat him down?
Before I would.
Yeah, let's pat him down.
Okay. You do find a handful of knives hidden on himself.
We'll take care of those, thank you.
You find 30 solid platinum in a pocket.
Whoa!
Like, based on his dress, his like rather threadbare dress, and there aren't, it's not like gold and coppers. There's just a solid 30 platinum in a pouch.
Baller.
So he hit the bank, he bought some knives, and he locked himself
For
in a
protection, maybe? Who knows?
He thinks something's coming for him.
But he's not. Is he running or is he not running?
Let's ask him. I'll heal Chotan Brew.
What happened?
You slipped
You
and
tripped.
fell.
All right. So you are the foreman here of the closed crown set, right?
Yeah, right. What's of it? Huh? It's closed.
Why?
Well, I was told to close it
By who?
by the owners of the company.
Who are the owners of the company?
Well, the Underish family.
Oh,
Gus kind of glances over Olly. Olly gives a nod. That's good.
I already know, but real talk. And like grabs two of the fingers off his hand and starts bending him back a bit. And goes, Who put you up to this? And he's like,
I don't know what else to tell you.
sure sounds like there's a little more info in there.
I don't know who's taking care of it with the Underrush. I think I'm just being paid to keep it closed. Please.
Who paid you?
I mean,
Someone handed you the coin.
Gus goes, Big lady's got a certain point.
it's like leaning the finger. You hear it.
Oh!
You just scream. Look, I get a package. It's a coin about once a week. Paperwork said it was being handled.
You can do it.
Fuck
I'll
it.
detect
Detect
I'll
thoughts.
detect thoughts. You save yours.
was like, oh, second level, we're so low
I'll
level right
detect
now.
thoughts.
Okay, he's being very guarded. The first initial thoughts are, oh my god, the pain! Oh, the pain! Oh, the pain! Oh god! Now if they know, they'll kill me. If they know, they'll kill me. I'll die. They'll find my body. I'll be dead. I can't say anything. Do you want to push?
Yep, I will. I'll push further.
Yeah, let's get in there.
You sense images of the mines closing off and strangers coming and giving the order, people that he's unfamiliar with. When he asks about it, you see a memory of somebody coming and handing him a package. It says, the Trincis have ordnance here now. Expect another of these every week.
Ooh.
Keep it safe. Keep it close.
Okay.
Look, there were some mining groups that were sent home not feeling well, and we were afraid maybe it was like a sickness had broken out, so we're just keeping it closed. Being careful.
It's okay. Let him go, Gus. It's fine. Yeah, we got what we needed. Trinci. No.
His eyes are wide, like,
Does he realize?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say what?
No, you didn't say anything. You're good.
we know.
You're good.
You're safe. Minus your fingers. Sorry about that.
We're gonna need access to the mines. That is, if you want to see any of this again.
As he's looking at the coins, Gus's hand reaches over and grabs the broken finger. It's like, ah! And Gus just goes, hey, little man's got a point. You want your money back. We need access. And I might even do you a favor. Fix this. And pops it back, and he's like, okay. All right, no, that's why am I thanking you?
How long have they asked you to close it again?
It's been a few months.
That's right.
It just,
I think I actually wrote that.
once a week, they send someone come by and just check up on things occasionally.
Okay.
Well, she hasn't been by, I don't know, in a bit.
See?
Emoth cat.
No, I'll show you. Yeah, you can come out. And he just kind of pushes past and walks out the door of his office. Mines are this way. So as you all continue down this path, you follow the tunnel, and there are, barricades set up and signs that say mines closed, no business to be conducted till further notice. Shoten leads you through these, and then down these rough-hewn steps that go into numerous splinter-off mining pads. At a certain point, the tunnel levels out, and what you see before you is a large metallic cage, and what looks to be a very thick iron chain affixed to the top of it that goes through a divot in the ceiling and a wench that is attached to a smaller version of the automatons that you see that run the cable network. This'll take you down.
You're coming too, right? To show what's down there?
I don't know what's down there. I don't go down in the mine. I just organize the workers. There's no workers, so I just sit here and keep an eye, make sure no one goes in it. But you come here and break my fingers. And Gus steps forward and goes, don't worry, friend, just keep an eye. And as he puts his hand on his shoulder, there's a little glimmer in his eyes. Serhan kind of like looks at him for a second. And yeah, no, help however I can. Really, just let me know. I'll be right here, keeping an eye. Thanks for fixing these, by the way. It's gonna take a while to heal, but they already feel much better.
So glad.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to help, bud. Just shout if anybody else comes through. Shall we?
Yes, please.
That was impressive. I just want to say.
Yeah, that was a neat trick.
As you all kind of pile in and tense up inside this cage, kind of pushes the door closed, begins rotating the heavy layers and layers of chain again, and release. And as it does, the cage arm begins to descend slowly.
Oh shit!
What does it smell like now? Has the smell changed at all?
The scent, it is that same subterranean, earthy, irony smell, but the slightly seeping in mustiness. That is familiar.
Ooh. Oh no.
Can we see how deep this is?
It feels forever. And then eventually, a bit of like cold dust that was kicked up from the impact just kind of comes and settles around the cage. You can see the path continues on ahead for roughly 60 or so feet, and it seems to splinter a bit before your vision from the lights begins to fade into darkness. But that smell is strong. That muskiness is very strong. You see movement along the ground. Looks to be 2, 3, maybe 5 shade creepers, like coming out of the darkness towards you. And you glance up,
and I drag it along my thigh.
All right. The blackened cloaks that they kept on them in previous encounters are not present. They are just these slick, kind of gray, smooth bodies with an earless, kind of tooth-filled, wide mouth and burning eyes, just like... And they're just kind of slowly crawling towards you, and you see movement above you as you see more along the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
And some on the walls. Let's go and roll some initiative here.
Oh, I was hoping we were.
Okay, all right.
Alrighty. So, top of the round, we have Orem with Ashlyn on deck. What do you do?
Jeez, okay. I'm going to rush past Chet
Alrighty.
to... Jeez, this gentleman on the floor here. Let's make it I'll go for bonus action, feigning attack. Dodge left, and I'll try to stick him in the side.
Do you rush forward? You go and slash towards it.
Yeah.
Burns and flashes into dark flame. I need you to take 4 points of fire damage.
Okay.
As you slice and feel the intense heat of it incinerating next to you. Ashton, you're up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna fucking rage.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to run up to the one that's curling around the corner right there. I'm just going to get in the way of it. I'm going to take an attack on that guy.
You splatter against the rock face. Okay. As you're like engaging with these creatures here in the area, you can hear other skittering sounds down the hall. And in particular, you see 2 more. You see Orem down here.
Yep.
2 more of them here that are clambering down. One of them looks up and then steps back. And then
no.
Dropping from the ceiling, you see another shade creeper, but it has like 4 weird claw arms. It looks a bit mal-shaped.
Oh boy.
And where it's kind of humanoid, toothy, front mouth jaw area is, it's just kind of broken open into 2 hanging clawed jaw bits.
No.
Cool.
And it scampers towards you with an unnatural speed.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Its head comes up and its 2 lower kind of pointed jaws curl back in. Releases this globule of spittle. You just barely duck your head out of the way as it fires off and hits the wall and just kind of drips in this like slow molasses-like way.
What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I'll run in for old arachnic face. And I'll make 2 strikes against him with my wood chisel.
Alrighty. So both strikes with your chisel, like carving deep into this creature's skin, and as you pull back, it tears, exposing muscle, and the muscle seems to almost like tense up inside and withdraw from where the wound is. It's an odd sight, almost like you cut open and the inside just go and curl away from the wound. It's really gross. Okay, finishing your go, Laudna, you're up with FCG on deck.
I'm gonna quick and spell one.
Yeah, so you can
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay. Laudna cracks a little, and I reach my hands out, and you see like carbon and coal, like oil, start to ooze from the sides of the cave, and she sucks it up, and Eldritch Blast!
So you spend the sorcery points, and you are firing now 4 Eldritch Blasts.
4 Eldritch Blasts?
Eldritch Blast! So +7 each. Oh, those are both 6s. So 6 plus
13,
7 is
13.
13 and 13?
13, 13.
3.
Like a widespread machine gun, Aladna comes out ready to fire and just hits.
Focus! You just see like black pour from Ladna's eyes, and she's like,
Oh, that's the sad. That's
hang
the
on.
sad icker.
I will roll forward a bit down that same hallway that my friends are down. I will cast a spiritual image of a bullseye to try to guide her next time, and the bullseye will try to crash down on the guy, the main guy, the big crazy or girl.
What does the target do?
The target, it's like a large, like a archery target.
Yeah.
And it just sort of hovers up and just bonks down on its head.
Because of course.
awkward.
That finishes your go. All right. With that, Gus.
Maybe one.
He sees even more crawling in from that side as well. He's gonna glance over like, yeah, not today. He's gonna put his hands out for a second, and he's gonna draw his fingers in this like strange long line, grab the edges of it, and bend it into itself. And as it does, this kind of ring of flame begins to appear. He takes it and twists it into this tiny little bead, and throws it up. There is an echoing explosion in the area as flames whip around.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
AoE.
Listens out on that, so it's going to finish his turn.
That was hot.
Imogen, you're up.
I'm gonna use a sorcery point, and I'm gonna do twin spells as well.
Aim for the bullseye.
And I'm gonna I'm gonna aim for the creepy, crawly big
The
guy.
larger one? Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Alrighty. As you release the angry torrent of psychic energy into its mind, where you assume the mind is, and whisper into its essence, you watch as its eyes begin to just bleed and like begins to shake and then collapses to the ground before bursting into a roaring flame. All right, it's now Olly's turn.
She's
Olly reaches into the cloak and pulls out 2 long metal rods, like batons, and is going to go ahead and dart this way.
What?
I love
He's gonna go ahead and whack, do a like with an unnatural speed, kind of dodges past and does one heavy crack to the one that's in front of you, so it explodes. She's like, right, forgot, and then spins around to go ahead and strike the one that's to the right. That's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Nice.
That one explodes.
Oh boy.
That's just sorry. So we finish to go at the top. Orem, you're up with Ashton on deck.
Okay, I see that target floating over this creeper with a tail on the map, so I'm gonna slash up through the creature at the target and see if I can hit it.
Nice.
Falls
Yes.
backward and then 2 points of fire damage to you. Okay?
That's gonna be the end of my turn.
You got it. Finishing your go. Ashton, you're up.
I want to grab the one right in front of me and just toss it to the right.
Like with one hand, you just go.
Now I'm going to run straight into it and just take the brunt of the hammer and just try and get it right through.
The one you just
The one I just threw.
Yes.
rush and splatter it against the stone wall.
Really, I'm not.
And as it impacts, there's a flash. Finishing your go?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Oh, more of them.
Yep.
Another one of the large, creepy, extended ones with like splits in its body and the long claws drops from the ceiling from around the corner and is going to go after you, Ashton. So it goes towards you, and once again, you just dodge out of the way. You were always off to the side. It's just wasn't able to place where your location was. And as a reaction, its 2 hanging jaws curl in and unleash a glove towards you. Hits the wall behind you. Once again, you just keep. It's almost like you're teleporting, but inches in your space, just out of the way of where the enemy's attacking. No effect on you. All right, that finishes its go. That brings us to Laudna with FCG on deck.
You see Lana, she just kind of like rolls around the rusty cage like the creepiest
Just
Disney
moping.
princess, like trying to like find herself, and she just rolls around it. And then she looks at Pate and she's like, I don't know, Pate. I feel like I haven't been very useful. But maybe you. And then she starts to puppet Pate. And then Pate goes, Eldritch Blast! And maybe he can fucking do it! I'll try and hit this other one that's like advancing.
This one impacts and just does enough as you watch it get like a section of its chest blown away. It falls to the ground, its arms reaching out before burning violently.
You did it!
FCG, you're up.
All right, I'm going to activate my saw blade.
Let's go, Hannibal.
And I'll charge the one that's menacing my friends.
As you buzz in, it's like a horror film as you're just like tearing into it against the wall, and then
as my bonus action, I'll take the target, and I will I'll sort of like bounce it and roll it towards the one next to Chet.
Double.
the target just entirely crushes into the ground before it. All right, Imogen, you're right up. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna
Tunnel's not a bad idea.
bring my forearms together, close my eyes. I know. Shift my focus down and then flash my eyes up, and all my hair's gonna flare out. And my clothes are gonna flow up a little bit, and
Yes.
right here,
Oh, yeah.
you're just gonna see a ball of storm explode. Oh, so cool.
All right, what are you casting?
Seething storm.
All right.
The storm orb.
So now that whole area is just lit up with this crackling sound, the swirling of energy and small storm detonations and arcs of electricity. Olly's up. Olly, seeing all this happening right there in the clusterfuck that is this hallway, puts the rods away and pulls a light crossbow out from the back of the cloak. Pulls it out.
It's fanny pack.
Fires it twice, reloading quickly and firing again at the one that's in front of you. So one of them goes wide, one does strike the creature right in the center of its like chest neck area. All right, Chetney, you're up.
I'll rush up to help FCG.
All right.
I see wood, I see infinite possibility. Could I try a blood maledict?
Okay, so I'll take the first of my 2 strikes against it.
Do it.
14 plus, I think it's 7, so that's 21.
That hits.
Second one. Not 2 natural 20!
Oh my god!
I mean, yeah. How do you want to do this?
I'll run up and say, "You leave FCG alone." And I find like the mandible mouth, and I take the wood chisel and I reverse grip it, and I stick it in its lower jaw, and I go, "Come with me, bitch!" And I run down his neck through his belly. Yeah! Go, come over there!
As you charge me, it can't make the sound that it normally does to react in pain because you have removed its ability to make sound. So this silent spill as the creature just collapses to the ground, and as its body falls, each part kind of ignites as it impacts beneath you, and even the gore that splatters on your hammer as you kind of pull beneath begins to burn and sizzle. FCG, you're up.
Well, I will move my spiritual weapon in there and bash one of the fellows right on his keister. Oh, wow!
He explodes within the storm, burns into nothing, surrounded by purplish lavender energy crackling in the space. Now it's the Shade Creeper's turn. Go ahead and roll damage for its opening turn for starting in this.
Sorry.
6 points of lightning damage.
That'll do it.
Ooh!
It burns in the storm. There currently resides no visual threat within the immediate tunnel.
Cool.
What you do hear is the sound of maybe a few scurrying feet getting quieter and quieter. As in,
Scared him away. Uh-oh.
yep, there are some that were approaching that have decided otherwise. Gus and Olly kind of dust
If it's been
themselves
a
off
minute,
a
then
little
my
bit.
storm is
Yeah, do you
gone
have any
as
other
well.
heals for that?
That's plenty.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we could.
Oh,
No, I mean,
were
do you
they-
have any extra ones? Gus and Olly can take some.
Oh, no, I used them all on us.
Okay. Olly goes, I was if there was anything extra, but I'm good. It was a minor injury. I'm fine. It's appreciated. Okay, so what's next? They both kind of look up towards the lightless expanse ahead of you in the tunnel.
We're going to keep forging down into these tunnels, right?
That's what we came here for.
Let's just stay a bit behind you then.
I'm here
And
for
you
a
run
scout.
Yeah, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're doing its invisibility?
Yeah.
Okay. You vanish from sight. Walking through this portion of the chamber, you can see amongst the rock walls viscous slime that you had seen beginning to permeate the earlier elements of this chamber, growing thicker and leaving these almost like slime cocoons in portions of the wall. The temperature's warm in here, humid almost. The moisture that is adorning the interior space. As the shadow begins to pull away from your dark vision, you can now see about 8 or 9 more of these shade creepers. 2 of them of the larger, kind of mutated variety. And they're all kind of chittering to each other, kind of turning in place. And some of them climb up on this one pillar in the center, and you can see where this large gathering of kind of congealed slime is a humanoid figure that's kind of up into the wall and cocooned, if you will.
Oh my god.
One of them pulls up onto it and kind of like paws at it, if you will, almost like it has an animal intelligence. And as it does, the cocoon kind of splits a bit, and 2 arms kind of pull out. And you see leaning torso-wise out of this cocoon with a bit of a dripping residue that onto the ground beneath it. The familiar sight of Lady Emoth Kade. Oh my god. You can see her hair itself kind of slimed into these clumps as she kind of leans out of it partially and takes a breath. And she steps out from the cocoon. She kind of stands up a bit. You can see there's no clothing on her, but also the body itself, it lacks some human features that you would expect from a disrobed person. She kind of stands up a bit, and you hear her clicking back and forth with these creatures. And as she does, she kind of like stretches her arms. And as she does, you kind of glance, and there are these holes that like open in her back, her shoulders, like almost breathing.
Oh my god.
Kind of like looks loosely in your direction. And in this lightless space, you just see these pupilless dark eyes within her face.
Fucking so awful.
You trudge back quickly.
Okay. I'm here. Shh. Okay. Lady Emoth Kade is there. I want to call him.
Oh, well, that's
she looks
good.
almost worse than before. It's really, really bad.
Gus goes, were they close together? Because
He kind of like snaps his fingers and a bit of flame kind of curls around his thumb.
Hot. Yeah. They were kind of bunched up all around her, but they were also on the floor.
get it at the ready.
And you can see Olly kind of reaches into a pocket and pulls out this small, almost like a semi-translucent pearl. He goes, if I can get close enough, we'll have her at our beck and call for a little bit. All right, let's give it a shot. Gus goes ahead and like marks a quick, almost like a swirl, and then a flick of a pen almost, and then you watch as Gus's form turns invisible as well.
Fuck, that's cool. Follow my lead.
Okay. You get within about 50 or so feet from the edge of where that is, and you can still see the creatures kind of, they've shifted a little bit in space, but they're still gathered on the base of the pillar. What do you do?
I'm just bolting.
Bolton?
Yeah.
Dart past, not even stealth, and making a noise. All the creatures kind of like shift, and they're like following the sound and hearing where it goes, and some of them start like shifting and skittering around to follow in the path of where you're going. As you rush around, you can see all the different openings into small caverns that were abandoned mines or things that have since equipment still lying around, and you can see out of quick glances out of the corner of your eyes, other shapes like piles of people or once were people that have since been eaten or scavenged or whatnot. And as you kind of rush past them, hearing the sounds behind you, you get around the pillar and you can see the next path behind it opens into a much larger cavern. You do not see in that run
What?
Lady Emoth.
This
Got away from
The
us.
rest of the creatures we're still clustered around it.
Shit.
It's not one of them. As you kind of run past and look, and you see the next open room inside, there's a faint kind of orangish glow that just very ever so faintly lights the very rims of this open room. As soon as that happens, you hear there's a flash of warm light behind you as a fireball explosion detonates the cluster of creatures that have been following and pincering behind you, and pieces go flying, and you hear the screeches and screams of them from the explosion that echoes through the hallway. The handful that still remain themselves are still in flames and kind of shrieking as the rest of you see this light. This was the sign. You all rush in. You can see Olly's sister pulls out the pearl and is looking around. There's no Lady Emoth. While this chaos is happening, you look into this large chamber, and your eyes adjust, kind of stepping in, still invisible. You can see there's almost like two small workstations set inside. You see two figures that are kind of hunched over the tables and are manipulating things around it. You see this odd series of platforms, the topography in here. This is like a larger cavernous space that this mine kind of opened into. And you can see there are metal contraptions and elements where you see this area was being prepared for some sort of a mining operation and then was abandoned. You can see kind of in the center and across the way, Lady Emoth standing there, kind of faced away, looking up. And there you see, floating above, attached to the wall, a gargantuan mass of pulsing flesh.
What?
You can see it kind of shifting down the wall slightly as she puts her hands up towards it. And as it shifts, you see at the front of it a figure emerge.
Oh my god, it's oh god.
You see almost a humanoid-like torso, but long and drawn out. Extended, rake-like fingers that come from arms that could be 10, 12 feet long, and a secondary pair that curls around and grabs the wall as it goes. You see at the front of its elongated neck, this like crown of bone that curls up, and these black, void-like eyes. No nose and a similar open jaw filled with dozens and dozens of jagged teeth coming at odd angles and rows. You see this mat of long, black, straggly hair like the mane of a wild horse, but tangled and matted with grease that just kind of frames it like a nightmarish lion's mane.
Okay.
You hear Lady Emoth Kade. Mother.
Ooh.
We have visitors.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
She looks back towards you. And that's roll.
Oh, no!